What happens when a hurricane hits a farm in the United States? Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when a hurricane hits a farm? The calm and peaceful landscape of the countryside, where cows graze and horses gallop in the wind, can be transformed into a devastating scene when these natural phenomena arrive with full force. But although life in the countryside is full of daily challenges, such as pests, droughts, and floods, there's one threat that is even more terrifying: hurricanes and tornadoes. In the United States, where the presence of these natural phenomena is a constant, farmers deal with the risk of these disasters every year. A hurricane is a massive event, with winds that can exceed 300 kilometers per hour, capable of destroying everything in its path. Tornadoes, on the other hand, are more focused and concentrated, with winds that can reach a staggering 484 kilometers per hour, striking a much smaller area but with a force that causes unimaginable destruction. One of the biggest impacts these phenomena can have on farms concerns animals. Imagine cows and horses being literally lifted off the ground and carried away by the violent winds. For many, this sounds impossible, but believe it or not, this has happened. And surprisingly, many of these animals survived. Let's look at some incredible stories that show how challenging it can be for farmers when a hurricane strikes their property. One of the most shocking stories happened in the state of Louisiana after Hurricane Ida. The winds and flooding were so strong that they lifted a cow off the ground and left it trapped in a tree. Farm workers, standing waist-deep in water, had to use a chainsaw to cut the branches and rescue the animal. Incredibly, the cow survived without any serious injuries, which amazed everyone involved in the rescue. Another remarkable story took place in 2019 when Hurricane Dorian hit the east coast of the United States, devastating everything in its path. In North Carolina, 3 cows were peacefully grazing on a farm near the coast when the hurricane arrived. The gusts of wind tore down fences, knocked over trees, and caused massive flooding. Amidst the chaos, the 3 cows disappeared. The owner of the herd searched for days, believing they had been carried away by the storm and were likely dead. But what happened next is even more unbelievable. Months later, park rangers found the 3 cows alive, grazing peacefully on an island more than 13 kilometers away. The cows had swum for kilometers in the open sea, battling strong currents, debris, and massive waves. They managed to survive the hurricane and the ocean crossing, and found dry land to start a new life. The cows, later known as the surfing cows, are a true symbol of resilience. How did they manage to do it? How were they able to survive winds over 250 kilometers per hour, debris flying around, and the waves crashing down? Despite the imminent threat of death, they survived. The story of these cows is a clear example of the strength of nature and the resilience of animals who face the impossible to survive. While hurricanes are known for their size and intensity, tornadoes can be even more devastating, especially in rural areas. Imagine a funnel of wind spinning at nearly 500 kilometers per hour, sucking up everything in its path. Barns are ripped from the ground, tractors are thrown tens of meters away, roofs fly like paper, and animals in open pastures can be tossed into the air as if they were toys. In the United States, where around 2,000 tornadoes occur every year, the effects of these storms are devastating. While many animals don't survive, there are remarkable cases of cows, horses, and even buffaloes being lifted into the air by the tornadoes. Many people living in these areas also narrowly escape the wrath of the tornadoes. The weather forecast is always crucial, but the warning window is very short, making it challenging to escape, especially in rural areas. The largest tornado in history occurred in Oklahoma, measuring over 4 kilometers in width. This tornado tore through entire farmlands, forests, and even cities, leaving a path of destruction. Entire plantations were wiped out and nothing was left standing. The true threat hurricanes and tornadoes pose to farmers is not just the loss of property, but the devastating impact on livestock and animals that depend on farm protection. That's why many farmers develop methods and strategies to protect their animals. Farms in the southern United States are well prepared with shelters and safety measures. But this is not always enough when the power of nature strikes with such intensity. In the moments before a hurricane or tornado arrives, the atmosphere becomes tense. The wind starts to roar, the sky darkens rapidly, and the water begins to rise. Sirens sound, and the rush to find shelter becomes a matter of life or death. In many areas, shelters are scarce and distances are vast. The chance of saving all animals and equipment is minimal. Although the immediate destruction of a hurricane or tornado is visible, the long-term impact can be even more devastating. The loss of crops, the destruction of barns, and the death of animals are just the beginning. After the disaster, recovery takes place, and it can take months or even years. For many farmers, rebuilding is a tough but necessary task. Life on the farm is always unpredictable, and each hurricane or tornado brings a new chapter to the farmer's story. Living in the countryside in the United States or anywhere in the world can be a privilege, but it also comes with immense challenges. Hurricanes and tornadoes are a natural phenomena that can completely change a farmer's life in a matter of minutes. However, survival stories like that of the cows who swam miles to survive are a reminder of the power of nature and the determination of living beings. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about the impact of natural phenomena on farms, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share with your friends. See you next time.